There's no need to be nervous.
Nervous? No. Just your appearance. It's a little intimidating.
Intimidating? Me? But I'm your friend. My name's Manny Calavera. I'm your new travel agent.
In over 40 years of video game history, many games have come and gone, but only a few of them stood the test of time.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Test of Time. Today we'll be taking a look at Grim Fandango. And I actually wonder how many of you will remember the days when point and click adventures were a big thing. Games like Monkey Island and Day of the Tentacle and Myst will always be considered to be classics, but the genre has been dead for pretty much over a decade now. How ironic that the game that would be considered to be the last big game in the genre would actually have you play as the Grim Reaper. Meet Manny Calavera, a Grim Reaper working for the Department of Death. His job is to make sure everyone gets the right traveling package to reach the afterlife, but business hasn't really been good lately. In case you didn't know, when you die there's different ways to reach your final resting place, and leading a good and fulfilling life will get you a ticket on the number 9 train, but spend your life being a dick and you'll be walking for 4 years to reach the land of eternal rest. Who said you could rest in peace when you die? Since Manny hasn't sold any high value packages lately, he's even about to lose his job at the DoD. But help is on the way. After committing some sabotage to company property and screwing over his arrogant colleague Domino Huxley, he meets a lady by the name of Mercedes Meche Colomar, who looks like she's just the client he was looking for. But, according to the computers, there's no train ticket for Meche, but a walking stick. The plot thickens even further as Manny soon finds out his boss is hoarding the number 9 train tickets for underworld kingpin Hector Lamont, who sells them at exorbitant prices. Together with his new driver Glottis, Manny sets off to find Meche and get her the train ticket she deserves. And to get the date he deserves, even though he won't admit it, taking down Lamont along the way. The game is divided in 4 chapters, each with its own setting, characters and bizarre puzzles. During year 1 you'll be trying to get a better client and meet Meche, and the next years you'll be looking for her, making some interesting career moves along the way. Being a point-and-click adventure, this isn't a fast-paced rollercoaster ride of a game. It's more of a relaxed, often confusing stroll through the land of the dead. If you've never played one of these games before, you can best compare it to the recent Telltale games like Wolf Among Us and Tales of the Borderlands, only with a lot more puzzles. And the puzzles are so out of it, you'll probably be using a walkthrough all the way, but it's really satisfying to try all sorts of random combinations of items to find an even more random solution in the end. For example, you'll be abusing this poor balloon artist's trust to get your hands on some balloons, fill them up with stuffing for dead bodies, and use those to wreck the company's mail machine. As long as you click on everything and go through all the available dialogue options, you should get an idea of what to do next. But stuff can get so random, a walkthrough will be your best friend most of the time. This may sound like a huge downside, but anyone who's ever played one of these adventures before knows this is par for the course and it's part of the fun. Speaking of dialogue, you'll be meeting a lot of people along the way, but thankfully most of them actually have something interesting to say. Life after death turns out to be pretty much the same as life before death, so prepare to meet with mob bosses, sea captains and leaders of resistance groups who love carrier pigeons. All of them will have a little bit of backstory to tell you, fleshing out their characters and making this more than a static puzzle-filled piece of Mexican art.
I don't need to be president. And why does Max have your money?
I put a whole suitcase of it up for collateral on a rather large wager last month. The race was fixed, Manny. They stole my money like common thieves.
And that music you hear when you first exit the office. Gotta love some mariachi music. Grim Fandango was created by Tim Schafer, and as always his signature style of humor and randomness are all over the place. From the Tim Burton-esque graphics to the characters and locations you visit. I never thought I'd visit a cat racing track anyway. Something worth mentioning as well is that the remake released in 2015 had to be built from scratch because all of the data of the original game was lost throughout the years. Double Fine even reached out to members of the community who had created unofficial patches for the original to help on this new version. This HD remake also lets you switch to the original graphics, and if you want you can use the old school tank controls. But who in their right mind would ever want to use tank controls? Oh wait, you got an achievement for it? As a kid I never really played a lot of point and click adventures, so the 1998 original of Grim Fandango totally passed me by. But I'm glad I got to play it in the end, almost 20 years later. It's still a great game to play when you just want to lay back, enjoy a good story and have a few laughs.
Here. And tomorrow? Can you hear me saying nothing? My teeth. Oh yeah. The end. We hear you, Daddy.
A walkthrough is pretty much mandatory, but isn't that the case for pretty much every point-and-click adventure? In the end, it's still a great game, so Grim Fandango definitely stood the test of time.
I guess our business is settled.
Almost.